You're listening to The AI Said What, a podcast of original horror stories written entirely by artificial intelligence. No rewrites, no corrections, just raw, unfiltered fiction pulled from the digital void and delivered straight to you. Some stories are strange, some stories are terrifying, and some feel a little too real. Let us begin. This is the Mechanical Zoo. They built it in the 1980s, just off Route 12, behind a wall of pine trees and rusting billboard signs. Not a theme park, not quite a zoo, something in between. An experiment in entertainment where the animals never aged, never ate, and never slept. Every child in town begged to go see it, to wave at Gerald the giraffe, to salute Rocky the rhino, and to watch their favorite, Lenny the leopard, who blinked, growled, and even purred when you stood close enough. But it shut down suddenly after the incident. They said it was mold, structural damage, a safety concern. That's what they told the public. What they didn't say is that the animals kept moving long after the power was turned off. We follow Kara. She was 5 the last time she visited the zoo. Now 29, she only remembered pieces: the squeal of hydraulic joints, the citrusy smell of the gift shop, and Lenny's big yellow eyes tracking her from behind the glass. After her mom died, she found a shoebox of old VHS tapes, family home videos, and one tape labeled Mech Zoo 99. There was something strange. It showed her staring into Lenny's enclosure, her mother laughing. In the background, Lenny blinked, then blinked again, then leaned forward, much closer than the enclosure allowed, and opened its mouth wide. No audio came out. In the tape, Kara turns to her mom and says, "Lenny whispered to me." The screen went black after that. That's what brought her back. She drove out on a Saturday, through winding roads, past forgotten towns. The entrance was still there, vines crawling up the arch. "Welcome to the Mechanical Zoo." Now a skeleton of metal letters. She climbed over the rusted gate. Her boots landed in dry leaves and loose bolts. The silence was heavy. No birds, no breeze, just the soft click of her phone's flashlight. The enclosure loomed like tombs. First, Ellie the elephant. Her trunk was broken, snapped midair like a frozen wave. Paint peeled off of her fiberglass skin, but her eyes still gleamed like they were waiting. Then Bucky, the baboon. He hung from the bars inside the cage, motionless, but wires ran from his back into the dirt like roots. The maintenance signs were still up. Caution, do not feed, do not touch the glass, and stay on the path. She wasn't sure if that was meant for the safety of the guests or for something else. Kara walked deeper in. The overgrowth parted around Predator Alley, where they kept the jungle cats, and she passed Maxine the mamba, a coiled metal snake with a jaw like a bear trap. Then Tito the tiger, who still had red paint on its claws. Not rust, paint. And at the end, behind triple layered glass, was Lenny the leopard. His body was crouched, ready to spring, his eyes disturbingly clean, unblinking, focused. There was a sound, a soft whir, then click. Then his paw shifted 1 inch forward. She gasped and stumbled back. The enclosure had no power. She saw the frayed wires hanging from the walls, no lights, no hum, nothing that should move. And yet, Lenny's head turned towards her. She backed up, nearly falling. A speaker high on the wall crackled. "It's been a long time, Kara." The voice was wrong. It was warped, too low, and it had come from inside the enclosure. She turned to run, but Lenny's tail moved. His mouth opened. "We remember everything." She ran through the exhibit tunnel, past the viewing windows, and that's when she heard them. Footsteps, but not human ones. Heavy, jointed hydraulics. From behind the trees, Ellie the elephant was moving, her broken trunk dragging behind her like a whip. Tito's enclosure was empty. His glass shattered outward, not inward. Kara ducked into the janitor's building, slammed the door, and locked it. Inside, rows of dusty monitors, VHS tapes, labels long faded, One was still blinking. A live feed. Panic Enclosure 4. She hit play. The screen lit up with night vision footage. A child. Herself. Curled in a corner, whispering. The timestamp read 1999. Lenny was standing over her. You'll come back. You promised. The power flickered. Outside, the metal scraped against metal. Then the lights cut out. She held her breath. He was outside the door. Lenny, no longer a prop, no longer tethered. His voice came through the vents. The zoo was never for children. It was for us. She ran out the back, into the reptile house. Inside, everything was warm. Too warm, like something still breathed in there. A hiss came from the pipes, then a screech. She turned and saw Buckley the baboon, skittering across the ceiling, limbs twitching out of sync. She ducked and ran again. Every exhibit was waking up, every animal rebooting. Not all of them were still bolted down. She made it back to the entrance, and the sun was starting to rise, but the gate was closed. She tried climbing, but the vines pulled back like fingers, and behind her, the zoo doors opened. Out walked Lenny. No cables, no motors, just silence. He sat in the center of the path. You're home now. You're our favorite exhibit. They found her car 3 days later. Door open, keys in the ignition. The dash cam footage glitched at 3:19 a.m. In her hometown, new flyers went up. Now reopening, the mechanical zoo. Under new management. The bottom corner had a small black stamp. No feeding required. They remember you.